And if the king is going to be replaced, it will be a replacement from Jordan Love, the quarterback that the Packers acquired by trading up from number 30 to number 26 in the 2020 draft. Here are both Davante Adams and Matt LaFleur answering questions and talking about Jordan Love as he's the beneficiary here. He shows up at mandatory minicamp as QB1. Here's Adams and LaFleur.
What areas have you seen Jordan grow in since the last time that you saw him face to face?
I truly can't answer that. I mean, I can't talk about growth over the course of, an hour and a half practice. It's really tough. And I hope that doesn't come off, snippy at all. I'm just saying it's a tough position to really feel good about your growth. Obviously, the maturity and I think the mindset, he's very locked in, and I've noticed that. But in terms of throwing the ball, I mean, we get a few reps, team cracks every day. I'll be able to tell over the course of maybe 3 days a little bit better than one. But, even then it's going to take much more time. Probably through camp I'll be able to give a better assessment of where he's at, or just be able to, just for myself to know, honestly. So I see, like I said, I'll say this, he's tapped into it. I see he has a heightened awareness, and his focus is definitely off the charts right now. I could tell the way he's coming in, talking to everybody. I hear him more. Last year I felt like he kind of just blended in. This year I'm starting to feel him, and it's good that he's starting to step into his own, get more comfortable. I'm sure a lot of it had to do with not wanting to step on 12's toes.
He needs every rep he can get right now. He's a young quarterback that was not afforded a preseason last year, and so give him as many as he can handle, and we'll spell him every now and again. But I just think every rep that he takes is so valuable, and you can learn something from both the good and the bad.
I had previously said Matt LaFleur is the one who is blameless in all of this, even more blameless, if that's possible, in this is Jordan Love.
Right.
And let's have that conversation.
Yeah, right.
You come out of college, highly regarded,
right,
end up being a first-round pick, and this gets back to my anti-draft crusade.
Oh, yes, it does.
Do you really think Jordan Love would have picked the Green Bay Packers? Do you really think?
Of course not.
If he had the choice of which team to go to, that he would walk into this mess? And now, because Aron isn't there, he's the guy. He's the guy, and he's acting like the guy, and he's asserting himself. Hey, I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And then if Aaron Rodgers shows up for training camp, he goes back to being not the guy again, and he's getting jerked around by the circumstances that he didn't create. I feel bad for Jordan Love.
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel worse for him than I do for Matt LaFleur.
You're right. It's about equal, I guess. I do. You're right. Jordan Love, a young kid trying to find his way in the NFL, and he got thrusted into the biggest, drama topic we've seen in football over the last 3 and 4 years. So you're right. It's not easy.
Matt LaFleur knew or should have known that he was stepping into a hornet's nest with Rodgers in the front office when he took the job. He didn't have to take the job.
Exactly. He knew what he was getting
Love
signed
had
up
to
for.
take the job.
Exactly right.
Love had no choice.
That's right. Right. And and it is. It's a tough spot. It is, but at least he's getting his reps. Now, I do want to hit on some of the things I just heard from Davante Adams. Like when he talks about growth, it's only been one practice, an hour and a half, all of those things. I believe him in that. I believe him in that because he probably doesn't even know where the baseline was of where Jordan Love was at the end of the season or anything like that. They had no experience. Jordan Love was probably just doing some scout team reps, and that was it. He had no idea of, does he know the offense? Does he know the checks and do things like that? Let alone, the other reason I could tell you he doesn't know about growth either is because, he would have I bet you they ran basic plays. Now, that's the negative about Rodgers not being there. They're not going to be able to run their offense the way it was in the NFC Championship game with Aaron Rodgers, with Jordan Love. The training wheels are going to be on to a degree. So, see, there's another reason why he's probably I don't really know the growth because we did basics today. We ran the basic plays of the offense, right? So he's got to get a feel for where the guy is altogether that way too. It's young, it's raw, and that's where Rodgers being away, does hurt the team a little bit. Again, it's only a 3-day minicamp. It'd be way more concerning if it was training camp. But, yeah, they do miss out on some of the things that would be a little more detailed, and next level stuff that Rodgers would be able to execute in the huddle at the line of scrimmage that they're not going to get with Jordan Love right now.
Some of the folks who make their living covering the Packers and therefore don't want Aaron Rodgers to ever say, don't waste your time reading that crap, have chimed in with the assessment of the performance of Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Struggling with accuracy, 12 and 23 passing in team drills, etc. Sailing passes.
Yeah. Listen,
Look,
that's a concerning number, Mike. I don't care, what it is. When you're a starting quarterback, 12 for 23 in a practice, anything like that, that's not something you want to see. That tells you it's raw right there. And that's continually the reports I think we both have heard over the last year about Jordan Love out of Green Bay.
I don't want to go full-blown conspiracy, Mike, here, and it's impossible to comment on this without seeing the film of practice to know how
that's
close
right.
some of the incompletions were.
Right.
But I don't think you're going to have guys laying out to catch Jordan Love passes in a mandatory minicamp.
No, you're not. You're not. You're right. You're not going to have guys that are going to go all out and sacrifice their body and do things like that. And, yeah, it's not about – maybe they would do that a little more with Rodgers because they're trying to, impress him or do something like that, certainly. But, nonetheless, listen, I know some of those guys and the local media in Green Bay, we know them casually here and there and things like that. I'm not trying to disrespect and say, they're not experts, but they've seen enough football for me to go, oh, well, they know what a ball means by or inaccurate and overthrowing people and things like that. To where it's been a story up there about his rawness. We've heard that, and, of course, things like this kind of confirm it. So we'll just see where it goes. And, again, I don't want to judge it. You're right. You got to watch the film and know and things like that. But I'm going to say an NFL starting quarterback in a mandatory minicamp, 23 throws, I'm going to say 25 out of the 32 starters in football are going to go 19 of 23, 20 for 23, 21 of 23. Maybe not all great completions, but they're going to find something to make sure they executed the offense.
Simple point, though, from my perspective.
Yeah.
If the receiver cuts off his route 5 yards too soon, it's going to look like an overthrow.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
We don't know if the mistake was made by the receiver.
Exactly.
And the conspiracy, Mike, portion of this comes into play if and when any of the receivers are, not accidentally cutting off their route 5 yards early, so it ends up being an overthrow. I'm not ready to go there yet.
Don't go there yet.
But these are the same guys who ultimately are going to be catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. And the only reason I'd even have that thought is because Aaron Rodgers surely was pleased with those tweets yesterday and pleased with those numbers. It gives him more leverage in this situation than if Jordan Love had been perfect yesterday.
I think that's part of this whole power play, in my opinion. I think you feel the same way. Please tell me no if you don't. But I feel like Rodgers, part of the reason he's doing this is because he knows Jordan Love's not ready, and he feels like he's kind of got them in a tough spot because they don't want to throw him out there right now. You and I heard the reports that people didn't think he was ready yet and things like that last year. There was plenty of things and rumors coming out of there to know that, okay, wait, yeah, Jordan Love needs to develop and do those things. Aaron Rodgers knew that. I'm sure he assessed the situation a little bit, and then he has that year, and I think that's really part of what he's trying to do right now and why he wants that other year of security. He's probably throwing do you want to play with Jordan Love? Are you serious? You really want to do that? He's not ready. I know he's not ready. That is part of it, but the Packers aren't blinking on that aspect of this yet, at least not now.
Remember, Aaron Rodgers said to Kenny Mayne 16 days ago that his MVP season threw a wrench in the plan.
I know.
His belief was, without saying it, he didn't say it, but if he thinks he's throwing a wrench in their plan by being the MVP, then the plan was we're going from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love after 1 year.
Yeah, right.
And the other side of that plan is this guy's not ready. Good luck. Go ahead.
Exactly.
So the guy who was the MVP's out. You're thrust into a situation where Jordan Love is going to be the starter and he's not ready. And who's it going to make look bad? It's going to make Brian Gutekunst look bad, the guy that Rodgers reportedly wants to have fired. But when I think of it that way, I land at maybe he's not showing up. Maybe this is his ultimate revenge, even though it's going to cost him more than $30 million between lost salary and bonus payback. Because if he doesn't show up and they have to go with Jordan Love, and Jordan Love, as you would say, pees down his leg all year long and isn't ready, and they go 4-13, then Gutekunst looks like the moron.
Yeah.
And it's advantage Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think that's part of Rodgers', plan ultimately. But, Green Bay is going to continue to sit in the corner of, we don't think you'll really sit out and miss one of the last few years of your career and all those things. So Rodgers is trying to make them squirm by going, if I come, you're stuck with that guy. But Green Bay's sitting there going, do you really want to give up one of your last few years of your prime and really, do that, and we're a good football team? And I think ultimately that's where Rodgers will come back. And we'll see if Jordan Love can get better and develop. And I'm really, I would say out of, all the draft picks from last year, this year, new players in the NFL, whatever, Jordan Love preseason football this year is going to be must-watch TV because of this situation now. And it's going to be one of those, it's Green Bay's playing? Oh, the second team's in? Let me turn on the TV. I want to watch Jordan Love. I got to see what he's wearing. Or the first team. Exactly. So we'll see where it goes.
There's a story at PFT. I'm not going to get into the details now. Chris and I have talked about this a couple of times, but I thought it through yesterday. I did a little research. This isn't really a crusade. This is gratuitous. That's gratuitous and about 20 minutes late. If Rodgers is not going to show up this year, it makes a lot more sense for him to retire before camp. Retire before camp. You avoid the $50,000 per day fine, and you can actually come back at a point later in the season than if you don't show up and are put on the did not report list. And if he retires, people will lose their minds because the casual fan doesn't understand how easy it is to unretire, even after we've seen multiple examples of it. But retirement is a smarter play for him, but to the tune of about $2 million, and being able to show up out of the blue a couple of weeks later if he goes that route. So we'll see how it all plays out. It begins with training camp. We assume he's not going to roll into Lambeau Field either the next 2 days. Now,